So guys, I'm pretty sure that you've all been waiting so long for me to do another video. Well guys, you'll be happy to know that you don't have to wait any longer because, well, obviously I've just made one and you're watching it now. Yeah, and not just this video guys. No, not just this one video at this time. No. Plenty more throughout the season guys. Yep, and they're all going to be predictions, as always. So yep, this is going to be quite fun. It's really going to be fun, if not interesting, because VAR, VAR is going to be used in the Premier League for the first time ever. So yeah, you can tell it's going to mess up some of my predictions. It could mess up all of our predictions, really, so... But it is what it is. Besides, you can never get most things right when it comes to predictions, you know. Since it's the opening day of the season, guys, it's going to be really hard for me to predict these games because obviously it's the opening weekend of the season, and seriously, it's really hard to tell what will happen. In fact, anything can happen on the opening day of the season, just anything. So I've been thinking long and hard about these games and what to predict, so hopefully I get some of them right. I probably won't, but we shall see what happens. So, guys, it's that time. Joey S predictions. So, here are my predictions for week 1 of the 2019-20 Premier League season. So, here we... 1, 2, 3, go! Liverpool v Norwich. First game of the season, and a very good one too. But for Norwich, their quest for survival gets off to a very tricky start. And to face Liverpool, if that's not bad enough, they'll be facing Liverpool at Anfield, and nobody can beat Liverpool at Anfield. And the amount of signings that Norwich have made in the transfer window, a bit too much in my opinion, but it'll determine whether they're good enough to stay up or not. As for Liverpool, only 2 summer signings. Doesn't sound enough to me, so it could be quite difficult for them to win the Premier League title. But definitely, they will be up for the challenge again. So, as for the game, both sides will find it very difficult, so Liverpool need to get off to a flying start, and Norwich need to make a good account of themselves to the Premier League. However, despite Norwich's best efforts I think they will put in this game, I think Liverpool will win 2-0. West Ham v Manchester City. So, City's sights are once again on the Premier League title and they will be looking to defend it for a 3rd time, which will be quite extraordinary. Despite the lack of signings that Man City have made through the transfer window, I don't think they will struggle against a West Ham side who have their sights set on European football this season, and they have made quite a few signings. Technically, I don't know which West Ham side will turn up, but regardless, I still think Man City will get off to the flying start they need in their defence for the title. And my prediction for this one is a 3-1 Man City win. Bournemouth v Sheffield United. Ooh. I really don't know what to think about this one. You never know with Bournemouth. I mean, it's really hard to tell how they will turn up, but when it comes against a newly promoted side who have made so many signings, you never know what's going to happen. I do think that Sheffield United will put in a spirited performance, but I can't be sure about that. Although what I am sure about is that they will be fighting for survival this season. But Bournemouth can be a very difficult side to play against when they play at home. So I've had a long think about this, guys, but now I've made my conclusion. I predict that Bournemouth will win 2-1. Burnley v Southampton. Yet again, don't know what to say. I've had a long, hard think about this one, guys. I mean, I don't know where each club will finish. I mean, they could fight against relegation again this season, but I think they'll be alright, but maybe even better, they could finish higher this season. And the reason why I think that is because they both have really good managers. So for both sides, I think it's all about getting back to how they were before. As for the game, I still don't know because it is, after all, the opening day of the season, so anything can happen. And that is why I have decided to predict a draw. 1-1. Crystal Palace v Everton. Again, I really don't know. See, Crystal Palace do have a brilliant atmosphere when they play at home, so that could be bad news for Everton. See, Everton's main ambition this season, as it always has been, competing for European football and finishing in the top 4, which I don't think they will get this season. Of course, Everton have made quite a few signings in the summer, so we shall see this season if they are good enough to finish in the top 4. As for Palace, since they have spent very little in the summer and the loss of Wan-Bissaka, and they might lose Wilfred Zaha too, I think this could be a long season for them, but I do think they will be fine. As for the game, can't say for certain, but I do think that a draw is due. 2-2. Watford v Brighton. Honestly, I don't know. Don't think it'll come as a surprise to you guys, so See, Brighton were in a calamity near the end of last season. They nearly got relegated, and for Watford, they've ended the season on a bad note. That note, the FA Cup final. But on the plus side, Brighton have a new manager in the hot seat, so maybe they could be a much better side this season. And as for Watford, they still had a very good season last season, so they'll be hoping for something bigger this season. In this game, I've had a long think about it, guys. I'm going to get it wrong, but I think Watford will take the honours. 3-1. Tottenham v Aston Villa. So Spurs have started spending at last. But not much really, although they have signed a very good player, you know. On the spending side, Aston Villa spent so much money, which doesn't really sound good to me because you could be turning your team who was so good last season into a team struggling against the drop, with far too much players being bought. Hopefully, that's not the case for Villa, so what they need is a very good start to the season. But against Spurs, away, I can't see a win nor a draw happening for Villa. And I do think that Spurs will get off to a good start to the season, and my prediction is 3-0 Tottenham. Leicester v Wolves. Two very good sides. So Wolves have had such a good season last season, but maybe this season could be different, considering the Europa League, if they can get in it, and of course that's why they are spending big. As for Leicester, with a manager like Brendan Rodgers in, I think there is a possibility they could challenge for Europa League. But I do think the manager's style of football fits perfectly with Leicester's style of play. So I think both sides can cause problems to one another, but I think Leicester will nick the 3 points. 2-0. Newcastle v Arsenal. So things are looking different for Newcastle now, and it really does not look pretty. I mean, now that Benitez is gone, Steve Bruce is now in the hot seat. So, yep, I'm afraid another relegation battle for Newcastle this season. And I have to be honest, with a chairman like Mike Ashley in charge, they really aren't going nowhere. There's literally no way. For Arsenal, still a lot of rebuilding for them to do, especially selling Aaron Ramsey and signing 4 players. But, regardless, I still think that Arsenal are capable of breaking into the top 4 again. And yep, I think they will start the season off very well. 3-1 Arsenal. Manchester United v Chelsea. Undoubtedly the biggest match of the weekend. Yep, so Chelsea have a club legend, Frank Lampard, in charge. So that is a big gamble for them, so hopefully for them it works out. But I think Chelsea's transfer window business hasn't done them any good, even with all that money they got from Eden Hazard. So looking back on how they ended last season very, very badly, United have a lot of work to do this season. So to get back to where they were before, and of course challenge for the top 4 again, an overhaul of the squad is needed. They've added some really good players, but however, still some players that I think need to be sold. As for the game, hard to tell who will win this one. But since I thought long and hard about this one, as I've done for many of these matches, I think Manchester United will win 2-1. Well, not confident. Nope, really not confident. On the first day of the season, I am not confident at all. No. Although I am certain about the Liverpool, Man City, Tottenham and Arsenal games, I am absolutely certain that they'll happen, but for the rest, absolutely not. Hopefully I get something right, at least just 1 or 2 or 3. That's all it'll take for me. But whatever happens on the opening day of the season, and from then on guys, it's going to be really interesting. So guys, as you probably heard, I tipped Man City and Liverpool for the title. I don't know who will win it, but it's going to be one of those two in my opinion. And for the top 4, along with Man City and Liverpool, don't really know. No, don't really know. In fact, last season was an absolute scrap and they all kept on losing. But I don't really have a word, but Man U, Chelsea, Spurs or Arsenal for me. So one of those 4, I can't really tell. So guys, the relegation battle, who do I think will go down? Not sure. It could be one of the 3 promoted teams, Sheffield United, Aston Villa and Norwich City. Not sure who will go down from those 3, but I think one of them will. And Brighton, Southampton and Newcastle, I believe, are in the mix as well. So it's going to be hard to tell. So guys, that is actually it for this video, so please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and please turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. Please leave a like and a comment down below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace!